By default, when you record a cue, you can then use your go button to go into it. And of course, you can use your go button to advance through each of your cues in the list. However, sometimes there's a cue that you just automatically want to run after the previous cue. So to save you having to press a go button unnecessarily, you can start to automate your cue list using follow cues. So let's take a look. In Q4, I've got my fixtures there with overhead blues. And I realise, well, those overhead blues, I want them to fade up 5 seconds after Q3 has been activated. So essentially, I can say, right, I can press my go button to go into Q3, and then rather than counting 5 seconds and then physically pressing go, the console can just automatically trigger my cue for me. So really important thing to remember. If I want Q4 to follow on from Q3, I need to tell Q3 that I want a follow cue to be added. So in this example here, I'm going to use the syntax. You can see me typing in the command line here. Q3 follow 5. So that is telling that Q3, I want to have a follow of 5 seconds and then hit enter. And what that means is it adds the follow to Q3 because that is the time that will count down. And once that's counted down, Q4 then runs, and we can see there that has now been annotated with an AF for auto follow. So let's go into Q2. I'm going to double click to go into that queue, and I'm going to then press my go button, and Q3's fade times run whilst that 5 seconds is counting down there, and we can see we then fade into Q4 automatically afterwards without us needing to press the go button. So the follow time there, that 5 seconds, is literally from when you press go, the console will then wait 5 seconds and then run the next cue. So that means that the follow time could be greater, could be equal to, or it could actually be less than Q3's fade times. It doesn't matter. Now, if you're in a queue, so we're in Q3 there, we don't need to define the queue number. If I wanted to go, oh, actually, I need that follow to be 6 seconds, I can just literally say follow 6. And you'll see that Q3 was automatically populated for me. So I've just literally said follow 6, enter. And that's updated the follow time of the queue we're currently in. I'm going to go ahead and reset my queue list. If I want to remove the follow time for a queue, we can use this kind of very common Neo approach of saying just hitting enter afterwards. So if I want to remove a follow from Q3, I'm going to use the syntax Q3 follow enter. And if I just do a follow enter without giving any time information, that will remove the follow instruction from Q3. Therefore, Q4 is no longer going to automatically follow afterwards. So follow enter, if a queue has a follow instruction already, a follow enter will remove that. But if your queue doesn't have a follow command yet, follow enter is really useful because follow enter can be used to add a follow in time instruction. So what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to go and say Q3 follow enter. It's exactly what we typed before, but notice because there is no follow information anymore on Q3, if we do a Q3 follow enter, we then get follow in time. We haven't defined a fade time, and so that means that we get follow in time. What this means is that the next queue, in Q4 in my case here, that will follow after Q3's fade times have completed. So whatever Q3's fade times are, we can go and update them, we can go and update the fades or the delays, whatever they may be, once they have completed, then Q4 will run. There's not an actual separate follow time that's going to be counting down from the point of pressing go. It's just Q4 is literally going to run after Q3's fades have completed. So let's go into Q2 and see this in action. I'm going to press my go button, and once Q3's fades have completed, then Q4 will run automatically. So that is what we call a follow in time, as you can see there. And I added that by literally doing a follow enter. Now, what we can also do is do what we call a follow hold. So we've seen there we can add a follow time in. We can also add a follow in time by just literally saying follow enter. But what we can also do is do a follow hold. So for this example, I'm going to reset again, just turn my fixtures off on stage. And this time I'm going to go and say that I want Q3 and I want to say follow plus 2. So I've actually gone and said Q3 follow plus 2 enter. And you'll see this time we get follow hold. Q4 has still got AF because it's still running automatically, but we've seen that we've changed the behaviour of Q3. So this time let's go into Q2 again. And we're now going to go into Q3, and what we're going to see is that Q3's fades are going to complete, then the hold is going to count down, and then we're going to see Q4 run automatically. So the follow plus enter is a really useful way of adding a hold time after your queue's fade times have completed. Now, all of this information can actually be added at the point of recording. So let's go to the last queue in my stack. We can see it's just a simple blackout. But I might decide, oh, actually, I know that I need to record a queue. So I need to record a queue. Let's say that I want 1 through at. That's going to be my queue. And I know that the queue after this needs to automatically follow after 2 seconds. So I'm going to record this queue and I'm going to say that I want it as Q20. So I'm going to go and say record Q20, follow 2 enter. And that was recorded Q20 with a follow of 2 all at the same time. So now if I go and bring my fixtures 51 through 55 at, and then literally just go ahead and do a record to record the next queue. I'm going to then go into Q19, which was my blackout. I'm going to go into Q20, and because I automatically put the follow time at the point of recording, Q21 then follows. I don't have to go back and add a follow at a later point.